For this module, we will be learning about trigonometric identities. So it's divided into four parts. The first will be fundamental trigonometric identities. The second is the sum and difference identities. Third is the double angle identities. And then lastly, the half angle identities. For the first part, the fundamental trigonometric identities, let's have this. Shown in the table are three of the most common or most fundamental trigonometric identities. The reciprocal identities, wherein cosecant theta is 1 over sine theta, secant theta is 1 over cosine theta, and cotangent theta is 1 over tangent theta. The quotient identities, you'll have tangent theta is sine theta over cosine theta, and of course it's reciprocal, the cotangent. You flip this as cosine theta all over sine theta. And lastly, the three Pythagorean identities, wherein you have the sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is 1, 1 plus tangent squared theta is equal to secant squared theta, and cotangent squared theta plus 1 is cosecant squared theta. So to have a quick recall on these identities, especially for the quotient identities among others, what I want you to do is you pick a circular function and move 2 steps on the perimeter, either clockwise or counterclockwise, basically following the yellow arrows. For example, sine theta is equal to the quotient of the two consecutive functions. So for example, sine theta is equal to cosine theta over cotangent theta. If we move here, for example, tangent theta is equal to sine theta over cosine theta. Or if you want to move counterclockwise, you can say that cosine theta is equal to sine theta all over tangent theta. Now, in order to remember the Pythagorean identities, what I want you to do is choose a colored triangle, and then moving across is plus, moving downwards is equal sign. So, for example, sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. Tangent squared theta plus 1 is equal to secant squared theta. And 1 plus cotangent squared theta is cosecant squared theta. Basically, the sum of the squares of the two vertices on the horizontal side is equal to the square of the third vertex. So let's try these. There's no single way in proving or verifying an identity. It's up to us. Sometimes it might be wise to make everything in terms of sine and cosine first. So for example, here, it's already cosine, so I'll leave it as cosine all over 1. And then the cosine and the tangent, maybe we can make it in terms of sine and cosine. So this one, cosine t, and then the tangent, I can make that sine over cosine. So when you try to verify, only manipulate one side. So here, let's leave it as cosine over 1. This one is cosine t all over. When I combine this, this becomes cosine t minus sine t over cosine t. So this is the longest bar. If I do this, it becomes multiplication. It flips. It becomes cosine squared t all over cosine t minus sine t. Take note that it has two levels already. So we stop at that and then we combine them. Here I can see that the LCD is cosine t minus sine t. If I multiply the bottom to cosine t, that becomes cosine squared t minus cosine t sine t. And then we copy this cosine squared t. So moving up, you can cancel out both cosine squared t's here. You're left with negative cosine t sine t all over cosine t minus sine t. And then comparing this to the one up here on the right, you can see that it starts with sine t in the denominator. So that means if I factor out the negative sign on top and then I flip the order at the bottom, it becomes the same as what we are trying to verify. So here I can say that this one and that one are the same. So I was able to verify the identity. Next, let's try to verify this identity. If I am to choose, I would of course choose the more difficult one because it's easier to simplify two separate terms as opposed to making a single simple term into a more complicated group of terms. So if I were to combine this as one fraction, I would have cosine theta 1 plus sine theta as my LCD. So the top becomes 1 plus sine theta quantity squared, and then this is cosine squared theta. And then if I would like to expand the top, that becomes 1 plus 2 sine theta plus sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta. And then this is all over cosine theta 1 plus sine theta. And then you have to recall that this one is basically a Pythagorean identity that's equal to 1. So if I combine those with the 1 in front, that becomes 2 plus 2 sine of theta all over cosine theta 1 plus sine theta. And then this one, maybe let's just place equal signs in front. If I factor out the 2 on top, that becomes 2, 1 plus sine of theta all over cosine theta 1 plus sine theta. And then I can actually cancel out those two terms. You're only left with 2 over cosine theta, or simply 2 secant theta. Let's just place equal signs. So we were able to verify that this one and this one are the same. So here are some more exercises. Number 1, given tangent theta is 8 over 15 and that secant theta is less than 0, find the other circular function. So what I would do is this. Looking at the given, tangent theta, or let's just say tangent of t, is greater than 0. When is tangent greater than 0? In the first and third quadrants. Secant theta is, or secant t is less than 0. When is secant less than 0? In the second and third quadrant. So which quadrant repeated? I can say that the third quadrant here repeated, meaning if I were to draw my angle, it would be in the third quadrant. So let's just say this is angle T. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So this is 8, 15. So applying the Pythagorean theorem, this would be 17. But then the 15 goes to the left, so that's negative. The 8 goes downwards, so that's also negative. So you're asked, find the other circular functions. Let's say sine t, cosine t, and then of course you already know tangent, secant here, and cosecant of t. Sine would be opposite over hypotenuse, so 8 over 17. Do take note that 17, the hypotenuse, should never be negative. It's always positive. So that's negative 8 over 17. Cosine is adjacent, so that's negative 15 over 17. Tangent, we can copy the one on top. That's the given, 8 over 15. Of course, cotangent would be the reciprocal. That's 15 over 8. Secant would be the reciprocal of cosine, so that's negative 17 over 15. And lastly, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, negative 17 over 8. And then it's true. From the conditions above, you can see that secant t is less than 0. So it's proven to be negative in here. So I hope you understand this one. Let's go to the next. You're asked to basically add and simplify the expressions. So in here, sometimes you might say, is it possible to just add them as is, or do we need to change them first to sine and cosine? Sometimes it's okay if we don't change them. Let's see what happens. So if we were to add them, we'll have 1 plus secant t and tangent t as our LCD. So this 2 divided by 1 plus secant t, you'll have tangent t, but then there's tangent t on top, so tangent t quantity squared plus these 2 divided by tan t is 1 plus secant t, but then there's 1 plus secant t, so we multiply that. This becomes 1 plus secant t quantity squared, or if we tried expanding, this one becomes tangent squared t plus 1 plus 2 secant t plus secant squared t all over 1 plus secant t and then tan t. Now, you have to remember there are squared terms, so maybe we have to recall our Pythagorean identities. So if we want, we can recall the Pythagorean identities, and then let's look at this. Tangent squared theta plus 1 is secant squared theta, so we can write that. Tangent squared theta plus 1 is secant squared theta. So that means this one here is basically secant squared of t. So if we combine secant squared t and then another secant squared t, you'll have 2 secant t plus 2 secant squared t all over 1 plus secant t tangent t. And then factoring out the secant and the 2, I'll have 1 plus secant t. And then at the bottom, I'll have 1 plus secant t and then tangent t. You can cancel out these terms. And then do take note, what is secant? Secant is 1 over cosine. So I can say that's 2 over cosine t. Take note that tangent is sine over cosine, but then that's at the bottom. So sine t over cosine t. Sorry, this one, I wrote this as theta as opposed to t. I'll change that. So we can also cancel this out. You're left with 2 over sine, or simply 2 cosecant t. So this is our final answer. Let's try this one. If we're to verify this, I can see that 1 minus cosine squared, that's a Pythagorean identity. If you recall, sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta, that's equal to 1. Therefore, 1 minus cosine squared theta is simply sine squared theta times cosecant theta. And then you're asked to verify, is this going to be the same as sine theta? Sine squared and cosecant, it basically cancels out. So this one, I can say one of the squared terms, and then that one, you're basically left with sine of theta. So it's verified. Next, on top, you'll notice that you have a squared term. Sine squared theta is 1 minus cosine squared theta. And then this is 1 minus cosine of theta. And then the top can be simplified by factoring it out. It becomes 1 minus cosine theta and 1 plus cosine of theta. You're left with 1 minus cosine of theta in here. You can cancel those two because they're all purely multiplication or division. You're left now with 1 plus cosine of theta. Let's go to another example. So in here, you'll notice it's tangent and secant at the bottom. So if we are to make it in terms of sine and cosine, I can say this is, so sine of x all over cosine of x, and then this is 1 over cosine of x. So if you want to combine them, that becomes 5 cosine of x all over sine of x plus 1. So there's nothing stated for us to express one function in terms of the other. So it just says simplify. If we can just have it like this, it's okay. So with me, I could stop here because there's nothing specified anyways. So thank you very much, and I hope you understand the lesson.